is Jeff Shaw. He's our local school council chair. And Jeff helps out tremendously by getting the local school council together to be the liaison between the school and the school board. And Jeff could tell you a little bit more about that.
Good morning, everybody. I'm on the local school council. Been the chairman for a while, and the local school council, as Brian said, is like a liaison between the school and the school administration, Atlanta Public Schools. So we don't really do fundraisers or put on events. We are more sort of a advocacy group or communication vehicle, if you will, between the school and looking out for Lin's interests to the school district. And so that's what we do. We're made up of 12 parents who have kids at Lin, and then there's 2 teachers, Lori Green and Todd Kimball, who've been on it the last year, and then also, of course, Brian and Ashley are on it. We are having elections coming up in September. I believe there are, I have to double check, there's several people who, it's 2-year terms, I believe, and people are going off, I think 6 or 8 people. So if you're interested in being on the local school council, look out for information about elections that'll be coming up. They'll be in September, but there'll be plenty of time to say, I want to be on, and then you can, be on the ballot, and there'll be an election. And if you don't want to run, well, make sure you vote, It used to be, I think the elections were pretty, if you wanted to be on, you were on. It wasn't any great political victory to get onto the local school council, but in recent, with the redistricting stuff, there has been, I think we had the last couple times, a couple hundred votes, so more people paying attention. So I invite you to be involved in that, or to run, because like I said, we do have several people going off, and our meetings are typically every second Thursday of the month. We're getting off to a little bit of a goofed up start, my fault, but I think we're going to meet next Thursday, hopefully, for our first meeting this year, and then get back on the second Thursday each month. And they're well open to everybody. We typically have them in here right at this time, 8:05. Let's see. Some of the things we've worked on in the past, I think there was a lot more interest in the local school council with the redistricting and all of that. So we were very involved in that and trying to keep Lin's boundaries intact and keep us at Inman and Grady. And so that was something that we've worked on a lot in the past. Now, of course, what's going on, one thing that we're working on is the school building and renovation project. Jennifer Hubert is here. She's on the local school council, and she's one of the co-chairs, and Tamara Jones also is here. They're co-chairs of the building and design committee. So they may know a little more and pipe in here, but roughly the plan right now is for that project. You've seen the sign out in front for, I think, them to break ground maybe around about September 20th, we're hoping. It was supposed to be over the summer, and it's gotten pushed back a little because of a weird boundary issue. This side over here, it has to do with DOT land when they were going to put the road through here years ago. But then they decided not to do that. They gave that land to, the DOT gave that back to be the Freedom Park, and that land has to stay dedicated as a park. Well, some of our driveway over here is already technically on the park land, and then where they're going to expand, it's going to go a little further onto the park land. So they had to, there's some legal lease changes that have to take place to get that done, and there's been a hang-up with that. But what we understand is that's basically been taken care of, and they're moving forward with that. So hopefully, around about September 20, they'll start. Generally, the plan is, I think, to do the addition, which is going to be back here first. So our school should remain relatively undisrupted this year, although obviously there's going to be construction. I mean, there's going to be some disruption, but not within the building. And then next summer, the plan is to get started in the front office and library areas where they're going to be doing some expanding and renovating. All the plans are on the website. They have been for a long time. So if you want to go, if you haven't done that before, I invite you to go look at it. It is going to be pretty neat. The addition back here, we're going to get 8 classrooms on one level and 6 on the other. It's a 2-level thing. And some smaller classrooms. And we fought the local school council, by the way, to get a couple extra classrooms out of that, because we thought they were being a little too short. So we got that. And then the part in the building, they're going to renovate. The front office will be much bigger. The library will be different. There's going to be dedicated of course, music and art rooms, but there's going to be a science lab, a computer lab, a band, an orchestra room, so some neat changes. There'll also be a walkway connecting the two wings that's going to have windows and be kind of neat from what we understand. So lots of changes. So that should be getting started, we hope, here pretty soon. These boundary issues, like I said, have slowed us down, but the local school council and the building and design committee have been working on that. Some other things we've worked on is long-term substitute issues, advocating to the school district to change their policies. One thing, I don't know if he's going to mention it today, but we'll give Brian and Ashley a pat on the back. Our class sizes, if you haven't all noticed, are pretty low, and that is one thing that the local school council, we talked to Brian about it, and we didn't really do anything, was Brian and Ashley made sure to keep our class sizes low. Part of it, we have the unique situation with so many classes in the temporaries, and APS came out last year and said, we're not going to go over 25 kids per class in those temporaries. So we wanted to make sure we held them to that, and we did. And so hats off to them. We're also working on the Inman and Grady situation, some fallout from the redistricting. Some of you may know that there is a Inman middle school plan that's been, taking forever to happen, but Errol Davis put out something recently where he said the plan with dealing with some of the overcrowding in Inman was to, one of the elementary schools, Centennial Place, was going to go K through 8. So those kids would kind of be pulled out of Inman, which would bring the numbers down a little. And then the other part of it was to expand at the Inman site with 8 to 10 classrooms, which they figure should handle the extra capacity. That is consistent, that plan, with what the local school council and what we've been advocating for the last year or two on that. So that is a good, from our perspective, a pretty good thing. So to the extent you're interested in that, or your kids are going to Inman, you might look at that and even let Errol Davis know, or your school board member know that you like that. Because that is important. That's a long loose end from the redistricting that has been going on. Basically, the continuous improvement plan, we've been talking with Brian about, that's something that the school does every year to kind of make sure that we're, performance-wise, the school is on track. And Brian and Ashley recently went over that with us, and they have a great plan for looking at our test scores and identifying weak areas, identifying strong areas, and how to best move forward from that. So that's something the local school council is involved with. We're on the website, our minutes, our some updates, so check that out. And again, you're all welcome to come to our meetings second Thursday, typically each month at 8:05 in this area. Thank you.
Jeff, thanks.